I hereby summon all my imps. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. Since last we talked, there have been 20 cards that have come out, so I'm going to do two 10-card reviews today. And where I left off last was this card, which is Thornburrow. And Thornburrow is a 4-mana 4/4 for a warrior that's an elemental bird. It has Rush and Death Rattle go dormant. And when you cast a fire spell, it revives this card. And a lot of people are forgetting the last little part of this card, which is revived 2 times. So the most you're ever going to get out of this particular card is going to be 3. And that's kind of important. That the fact that you get this back 3 times is going to be kind of important. Because of the fact that, like, if this didn't have the caveat of you can only revive it 2 times, I think it'd be way, way better. The problem is with it having such little revives on it, is 3 charges of this isn't going to be great. And the other problem with this is until you find a fire spell, this is taking up a board slot. Assuming it's in dormant state, I'm saying. So, getting a 4/4 with Rush on 4 isn't that great. There are some fire spells that come out in this particular set, but there's not a ton outside of this set. And I doubt that they're going to print a ton more fire spells to make this archetype work. It's going to be kind of almost one of those decks that you kind of sit there and go, yeah, they tried that, like when they did Frost Shaman. And it just sort of was kind of like a meme almost. So I'm going to give this, without the caveat, this be fine. I think it'd be perfectly fine with the caveat. Because finding enough fire spells is going to be a pain. The next one up for us is Sunfire Champion. And Sunfire Champion is after you cast a fire spell, deal 1 damage to all minions. This is kind of like a risky skipper, but the problem with this one is most of the fire spells that you want to be using, and we're going to be talking about them in a second, want you to have stuff damaged so that you can cast the fire spell better. And if you're using the fire spell to damage, you're kind of wasting the effect of the fire spell. So we'll come back to this card in just 1 second, because I think we need to look at a couple of the other cards to really get the point of this card down. Because here's one of the next cards that we're going to talk about, which is like Light of the Phoenix. Which is, draw 2 cards for 4. And this is one of the fire spells for Warrior. And it costs 1 less for each damaged character. Now, yourself counts as 1. And Warrior really doesn't have a lot of self-healing, they just gain armor, which still leaves you technically damaged. But, so this is basically like an arcane intellect for a warrior on most days. But when you cast this, if you have the other creature out that we just talked about, it deals the damage after you cast the spell. You almost want to cast a fire spell before this and then cast this. Because if you're damaged yourself and even that creature alone, this becomes a 2-mana draw 2. And the other card that falls into this category is the Blazing Power. The Blazing Power is a 2-mana card that's it's another fire card for Warrior that says give a minion +1/+1, repeat for each damaged friendly character. See, again, the card that we're talking about back here, Sunfury Champion, you almost have it backwards. Where you played the fire spell and this deals 1 damage. But all your fire spells want your stuff to already be damaged. I'm not sure how you would fix that. Maybe just fire spells cost 1 less. That would almost make this work. Battle cry damage all your minions. That would basically be what you wanted. That's almost what you want on this. Like, give it 1 more health, have it battle cry damage all your minions. And then leave this as the rest of it. Battle cry, deal 1 damage to all minions. After you cast the fire spell, deal 1 damage to all minions. Yeah. That'd be fine. That'll leave it as a 1/3 because it's going to hurt itself right off the bat. And give it that boost it needs. Because you need the fire spells. And if you're kind of having a reverse problem here where you want to play the fire spells to damage all your stuff. Then your fire spells become better when all your stuff is damaged. So I'm going to give this a seems almost backwards. Okay, so we're actually going to now talk about some of the other cards that are right here for the fire spells. So this is Light of the Phoenix. It's going to see play. It's Arcane Intellect for Warrior. As long as this card is in the pool, it's going to fall into Warrior's playlist. Warrior has no draw, has nothing that they would love more than to have draw. Having an Arcane Intellect is like ridiculous for them. This, on the worst day, is 1 more than an Arcane Intellect, and that's if you've taken 0 damage. If you've even taken 1 damage on your character, this is an Arcane Intellect straight off the bat. And if you've got any minion on the board who has any kind of rush, or any kind of charge, or any kind of without last turn, and they can attack and not die, just trade in, or they got damage last turn, this turns down to 2. Drawing 2 for 2 is ridiculous. I mean, there's going to be times where this comes out at 0. And having any card that you can make down to 0 is a scary card. 0 mana, draw 2 cards is so very powerful. There's going to be times where that happens. It's not every single time, but on 0, this is ridiculous. On 1, this is ridiculous. On 2, this is even fair. And on 3, it's like the worst Arcane Intellect, which is like starting to get edged out now. So the only time this is bad in any way, shape, or form is on 4. If this Ray costs you 4 mana straight up. If you're in that situation, it means you've taken 0 damage whatsoever. So, I'm not sure when as a warrior getting into that situation. So, I'm going to give this a super good card, but has nothing to do with fire. Next up for us, we have Blazing Power. Blazing Power is a 2-mana fire spell that gives your minions +1/+1. A minion +1/+1. I should have rephrased that. And repeat for each damaged friendly character. So this is the Vile Library for Warrior. If you were ever scared of Vile Library coming down, this is the same card, but you only get 1 use out of it instead of 2. So this is basically Vile Library with 1 activation instead of 2. And it doesn't take up a war slot. The problem with that is I'm not sure if Warrior can go wide right now. They're known for having heavy stuff, big scary creatures. I'm not sure they're running a wide board right now. But last time I did a card review, I gave Vile Library a short review because I didn't think there were enough demons. Because I didn't realize that like some of the old cards that summoned out demons existed. I'm gonna hedge my bets and say this card is really good and might even see nerf possibility because of how good Vile Library is. So I'm betting that this is good and hoping that it's not. I'm actually kind of hoping it is because Warrior needs help. Next up for us is Sunfire Smithing. Sunfire Smithing, I cannot say this word apparently, is a 4-mana fire spell that says equip a 4/2 sword, give a random minion in your hand +4/+2. I kinda wish that this was a weapon by itself. Just a 4/2 sword that kind of gave you a battle cry that put this spell in your hand that was 0 mana, give a minion in your hand +4/+2. Hey, tricks! Because with it being an actual weapon, you could draw it with some of the other cards that exist for weapon draw and weapon buff and stuff like that. With this being a spell by itself, you kind of don't get that other tutor ability. I mean, it's not bad. This is a 4/2 weapon. 4/2 weapons on 4 have always seen some sort of play. Next one up for us is going to be one second. There we go. Is going to be the Shadow of Demise. The Shadow of Demise is a technically no mana card. That's a Shadow's legendary spell for a rose. And what a no mana card is it's a card that constantly fluctuates with how much mana it costs. And what this card does is every time that you cast a spell, you transform this into a copy of that spell. Not just for this turn, but you can use it next turn, 5 turns from now, 8 turns from now. Until you cast another spell, it'll stay that spell. Now, once you cast another spell, you'll change into that. So basically what this does is this allows you to have 3 copies of a certain spell in your deck. Like, okay, I think we're back from the live spike there. So having 3 copies of any one particular spell is really good for rogues. It's really good for any class, to be exact. And you can have this on a 10 cost spell, you can have this on a 9 cost spell, so this doesn't have to just be used in the same turn like some of the other ones did. So there's no limit on this. Yes, it is a die card when you draw it, and it's a die card until you draw another spell, but that's like the weirdest caveat to put on this. Next up for us is going to be, stop it, the Soul Eater's Scythe. And Soul Eater's Scythe is a 4 mana 4/2 legendary weapon for demon hunters. And this has a start of game effect. And what the start of game effect does is it consumes 3 different minions in your deck, and it leaves behind souls that discover them. And this is kind of what the card looks like down here when you get it. It's a 1 mana spell that says discover a minion consumed by Soul Eater Scythe. And it's been told to me, as far as I understand so far, that the first time you cast the spell, you get to discover 1 of the 3. But the second time you only get to discover 1 of the 2 that are left. And the third time you only get to discover the last one that was left in the scythe. This is going to be in a spell-heavy deck, but you can also play this in a minion-heavy deck to a certain degree. You know, I mean, it's not that bad of a weapon just to have 3 random minions go away. I think it just puts a bit into your hand as the original mana and everything else as it used to be. Like, you just, like, drew the card, per se. So if you just want to play this card, go play it. I mean, you're not losing that much on it. But if you're playing the spell, a Demon Hunter deck that's sort of coming around this one, this is a card to throw in just so you can get like 3 minions in, and that's the bonus of this. And you don't need to draw the scythe to get the cards. The 3 spells will immediately go into your deck before you even draw the scythe. So this could be the last card in your hand, and you'll still get the 3 spells. Next up for us is 4 Doran Warband, which is a 4 mana spell for Demon Hunters, part of that whole Demon Hunter spell combination, which deals 4 damage. If your deck has no minions, summon 4 1/1 Illidari with Rush. Kind of a weird swipe kind of thing, where you're removing something for 4, or you're doing 4, and then you're kind of like swiping with the 1/1s that are left behind. But then you can trade them how you want to do. This is kind of like a Demon Hunter swipe, but not even as good. So, I mean, I'm not sure where you're getting all the rest of the minions to do this on, but there are some other spells that'll help you summon out minions. But you're basically not relying on minions. You're basically using this just as like a clear somewhere along the way. But if you're spelling Spell Hunter, Demon Hunter, that might make the list. You have to see what the list falls into. Next card up for us is Marcus Scorn. Marcus Scorn is a 2-mana Demon Hunter card that says draw a card. If it's not a minion, deal 3 damage to the lowest health enemy. The problem with this is that there's going to be times that you're going to kill off something that you kind of don't care about. If there's something left on the board that only has like 2 health left, or something that only has 1 health left, it'll kill that. I almost wish it was backwards, where it would deal 3 to the highest health enemy. I mean, it's draw. You might just play this in Demon Hunter for draw and not care that you're doing the 3 damage, and just use this as a pure draw. It's not bad draw for 2. It's got a slight upside. So this is kind of just draw with kind of a slight upside, so it's not that bad. And if you're playing the Spell Hunter, Demon Hunter, so the Spell Demon Hunter, this is going to be another one that you have to see how you slot in. I gotta see if there's enough spells to justify all that, and that's going to be the thing. Until we really get this out and going and playing, are there enough spells? Kind of, because like there's already like deck out there that doesn't run a ton of spells with like Jace, basically, where you just run a ton of fell spells and then you just, go nuts on the fell spells in the end. And I don't think that's running that many creatures altogether. So there might be enough just to justify this as is. The next one up for us, and the last one for this set of 10, is going to be the Noxious Infiltrator. And this is a rogue card. It's a 4-mana 2/3 that's poisonous. And it's Battle Cry. If a friendly undead died your last turn, deal 1 damage to a minion. It's not good. I mean, it's poisonous, so, if you kill off an undead, you're basically using this as an assassinate on a creature when you cast this because of the poisonous, and it's going to kill something from the poisonous itself. But that's kind of where you're hoping this lands, and if you hit a bad mark on it, it's a very low cost minion for 4 if you don't have the undead last turn. And to wait for an undead to die just to use this effect, you can, but that's, I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, it's got 5, so it's not gonna die the easiest way out there. I mean, it might even get in 2 trades, but I mean, is that the correct number for 4? 1 mana, 1/3, 2 mana, 2/4, 3 mana, 3/5, 4 mana, 4/6. This is low on defense and not that great on attack. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not the greatest. So, I'm giving this a, you really want undeads for this to work. Okay, so those are the 10 that have come out since I last did a review. There's another 10 past this point, so I'll be doing another review in just a couple seconds. But thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.